Welcome to Furniture Redesigned by MBM. Good morning and welcome back to Furniture Redesigned by MBM. I'm Mary, and yes, I have been gone for a while. Haven't had any furniture to refinish, haven't been able to find any good pieces to refinish, but I'm back today because I have this cabinet that I want to work on. But before I get started to tell you about that, I want to thank you all for your support. If you're not a part of the family, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel on those notifications so you'll know when I upload my next video. I'm going to try my hardest in 2026 to put out at least a couple of videos per month. I will be looking for smaller pieces that I can do inside the home because it is super cold and snowy here in Northwest Indiana. So with that being said, I want to just say thank you all again for your support. Thank you all for those who are stopping by for the first time. I hope you enjoyed this video so much that you would want to subscribe to the channel. Now, with all of that being said, again, this is the cabinet. Now, we remodeled our kitchen. I won't say remodeled, but kind of remodeled. We took this cabinet out of the kitchen some years ago, and it has been sitting in the basement. Now we're working in the second bathroom on the second level, which is really in this bedroom right here. There's a small bath, and I want to refinish this cabinet to go in it. My husband went out and bought a navy blue vanity. Ask me why, I don't know, but he bought navy blue, and that's the bathroom he uses most of the time. So we're going to change this to try to match. So what we did was took the cabinet door and tried to find paint. We did pick up some blue navy spray paint by Rust-Oleum. So I spray painted the inside of the door to see what it would look like if I spray painted it this color. Now this is still a little bit lighter than what we needed. So I'm like, okay, we purchased the same color spray paint, enamel paint in the can. Since I had this satin, same finish, enamel paint in black, I'm going to mix the two paints together little by little to get the darker navy. So because I've already sprayed the inside of both cabinet doors, I shouldn't have to do that. So first thing I want to do on this cabinet though is I want to wash it down really good because it has not been cleaned. So I'm going to clean it with some mild soap and water and rinse it, and then we'll be ready to go. So let's go ahead and get started. So stay with me if you want to see how it looks when it's done and also in the bathroom. So I'll see you guys in a minute when I'm all set up. Now I'm going to take a clean towel and rinse off the soap residue. While that's drying, I have some Elmer's wood filler, and I want to take it and fill all the little screw holes on the piece, and also at the top on the other side, it looks like there's a scrape. I want to sand that back and fill that in as well. And then I'll be ready for my Zinsser primer, and this is a synthetic stain blocking primer. It's been over an hour and the wood filler should be dry. I have my sanding block here. I want to sand down the wood filler, and I want to also sand the front of my bookcase because the front is a solid wood. We're going to go ahead and get that done. You're going to take that damp cloth and you're going to wipe that down once again because you don't want this to go into your primer. All right, I'm going to let that dry for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to come right on back with that primer. Again, I'm using the Zinsser Benz Ultimate Stain Synthetic Primer. You want to make sure that you shake it up well, which I've already done. And we're going to get this one coat on, let it dry, and we'll probably add a second coat depending on how it goes on. All right, we're losing daylight quick, and it is right now about 3 o'clock, 3:15, and I want to take my little sanding block, and I just want to lightly sand over my primer just to make sure there's no lumps or debris in the primer. And also to let you know, I did add a second coat of primer to the piece off camera. I'm grabbing the damp cloth once again, and I just want to lightly wipe it down to make sure that I'm not leaving any dust from the sanding. And over here on the table, I have my little plastic container For mixing, I'm just going to take this damp towel and wipe it out to make sure there's nothing in it. And then what I'm going to do is take my navy paint, and I've already shaken it, but I'm shaking it again real quick, and I'm going to pour it into this container. Now this is my black spray paint. I'm going to go ahead, shake it up as well, and I'm going to spray it into the container. I just want my blue to be a little bit darker. It's not spraying. Let me see if I can get it to work, and I'll come right back. All right, so I called hubby, and he brought me some black, same paint but in black, and I'm just mixing some of that in here, trying to make it darker. And as it turned out, this paint is actually not as dark as the spray paint. So here I am just adding black paint to this, trying to darken it up. So I'm gonna keep mixing, and I'll come back when I get the right color. All right, so it's after 4 o'clock. It's about 10 after 4, and of course it's gotten a little dark outside, but this is the darkest I can mix. I wind up mixing a pint of the black and a pint of the blue, and this is what I have. So we're gonna go with it. If all this fails, I'll go back and just spray paint everything in this color. So let's go ahead and get it on here and see how dark it dries. So everyone, the first coat of paint is dry on the front and on this side, and it's because I did a light layer of paint. So I'm gonna go over this part again. Over here on this side, at the top I did it light, and I also found a couple more screw holes. I did fill those in, but the paint, I guess when I started down here. It's a little heavier, and because this is an enamel paint, it's not quite dry. So I'm not gonna do anything with this side but I am going to go ahead and touch up the front. And what I did was wherever I found bumps and lumps, I just lightly took my sanding block and I went over it with a sanding block. So now I'm going to set you guys up on a tripod and we're going to go over this, the front and also the sides. And then in the morning, I'm going to do the doors when I have better light. Good morning, good morning. We're back and we're ready to paint the doors. Now, of course, last night I got one coat of paint on with the brush. I got a little overzealous and because it was so dark in the room, I couldn't record. But what I want to do is use my roller, and what I'm doing is just making sure, or you want to make sure that all the lint is out of your roller. I have this plate and I'll be using the plate to apply my paint to the roller. So what I want to do now is get my sander and I want to lightly sand the top because I did feel some lumps, like I picked up something in the paint on last night. So I'm just lightly sanding the doors, and then I'll take the damp cloth, of course, and wipe it back to make sure I get any dust or debris that's left behind, and then we'll be ready to roll the paint on the doors. So let's go ahead and get that done and see how many coats we'll need. Now, because my paint has been sitting overnight, I want to make sure I go ahead and mix those two paints together. Remember, one is black and one is blue, so we want to have a good combined paint before we roll it on. Okay, it looks pretty good. We're gonna let it level out and dry, and we'll go ahead and the one side that I didn't do last night, we're gonna go ahead and use this roller to roll it as well. I've given the doors in the cabinet about 4 hours to dry, and this is what it's looking like. This is the door, the smaller door. It does have a little bubble here, but I'll touch that up. But yeah, it looks really good. Liking the color. The color is very close to the vanity. And here's the larger door. Very, very nice. Now the back side, of course, is spray painted. And of course, I love the way it looks, but it does not match. This is the color that matches the cabinet in the bathroom more. Now on the side of the cabinet here, it's not quite dry after 4 hours. There's still some damp spots, but my husband won't be home for a few hours. I did do a few other touch-ups on the front side and also on the side. And I also noticed that I have a few more holes to cover up. I really don't have to cover them up because they won't be seen, but I do want my thing to have perfection, so I will cover that up. Now that is actually the wood filler, but I did just a little bit more sanding, but I'm gonna just touch it up with paint. So the cabinet is really just waiting on my husband to install. Now the cabinet doors on this cabinet was made to open the other direction. And the only way to fix that because of the hinges was to flip the door. And because of that, the pattern on the door is upside down. I really don't mind it so much because this is just a secondary bathroom and we just needed a place to hang supplies. Now I don't know if one day he'll fix it, drill in the other side, but for now this is what the cabinet looks like, and he's already started to put his things in it. And this is the vanity that he purchased, and these are the two colors together. So I think the color is not a perfect match, but it works. And this is the bathroom that we just refinished, and I will leave a link for that in the description box for anyone who wants to see a complete bathroom makeover. I will be adding hardware to the cabinet. I just didn't want to do anything until we fix the door problem. But this is how the cabinet turned out. This is what it looks like in the corner in the bathroom. Not perfect, but will do. So let me know what you guys think, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, I'll leave a link to what the bathroom completely looks like when it's all done on my other channel, Mary's Creative Decor. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.